like to call to order the Munhall Borough regular council meeting for January 16th, 2024. Mr. Brennan, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Happy New Year to all. All right. Seth, would you like to do a roll call?
President Brennan.
Here.
Mr. Eads.
Here.
Mrs. Fry.
Here.
Vice President Ondo.
Here.
Mr. Shields.
Here.
Mr. Vogadian.
Here.
Mr. Youngkins.
Here.
Mayor Pauls.
Here.
All present, sir.
Thank you. Okay, so for the President's report, I have just a few things to talk about. We've come and we do have our borough committees aligned now. We have our chairs of all our committees appointed. We are looking this year for reports from our committees on what the committees are doing. We want interaction from our council members on speaking to the public and to us, other council people, on what they're doing, what we're doing. So I'm looking forward to a little bit more enthusiastic reports from councilmen and women. And that's one of the big things that we've got accomplished in this past week. We did work on renewing Seth's contract. Is that in here, Seth?
Yes, it is, sir.
Yep, so we did do that, and I did not get to speak to Mr. Vogadian about it, but I think we're all pretty happily pleased with the contract. Seth has agreed to the contract. Our solicitor has looked over the contract. Everything is legal, and I'm sure they'll speak to that on their time to speak. Couple things about, and I'll let Seth talk a little bit more about what's transpired through the borough, but we have gotten a grant for garbage trucks. Now Seth will probably speak on that as well. It's for electric garbage trucks, and it should be quite interesting to see how they work. I think it's going to be an asset, and I think it's going to save us quite a bit of money. So Seth will be able to speak to that a little bit more in detail as he's looked over the grants. I did, just on a side note, I did attend the Sewer Authority meeting this past week, and one of the things that came out of the Sewer Authority meeting was, I know we've talked about it in the past, people wanted to have a deduct meter installed in their homes, and it is possible to have a deduct meter through the Sewer Authority of Munhall. That was a question mark that I don't think was ever resolved, but at that meeting it did come up, and it is possible to do. So that's for people who have swimming pools and watering lawn systems, stuff like that. Not a lot of people have a use for it. Churches do, whatnot. I thought that was pretty big. Another thing that in talking with other people through other municipalities, and I don't know, and maybe you can answer this for me, Greg, they have what they call a stormwater fee for land and for homes and usage of property. So these properties in other municipalities are taxed for their yard size, their roof sizes, and they're taxed on that percentage, and I'm not sure what the percentage is, but my question is, like the churches and other communities other community entities that really have, what are they called? Nonprofits. Are they tax exempt on something like that? Could you find that out for me? And because I have other people asking in Munhall about this, and I'm concerned about that as well. I don't know if and or buts of all the legals, but I would like to know that anyway. Other than that, things are moving smoothly. We're moving into 2024. As always, our street crew is out there working. We have a great street department. I thank them every day when I see them. They do a great job for us. Our roads are cleared and clean. I know I had trucks in the city, they got stuck in the city. So we take this for granted, but we do have a great crew. We have a great police department as well. We're blessed to have a good team for Munhall. We are. So that's all I have today. So we're gonna move on to the mayor's report. Mayor?
Yeah, I'll second a lot of the president's, what he said. We do have a great team, a great police department. We do have a public works, a fantastic job. I go to town to work every day, and, you know, as soon as I cross over the Homestead Graves Bridge, I'm in another world.
Welcome to Squirrel Hill.
So, it is, yes, welcome to Squirrel Hill, welcome to Lincoln Place, you're going that way.
Yeah.
And it's another world, so the job that we do is exceptional. It's a great job that our public works do. One thing coming up this Saturday, some of you may know, but if they're gonna call it the One Valley Free Store, the grand opening is this Saturday. And all invited, they're gonna be taking donations from 9 to 10, and then at 9:55, they're gonna have a ribbon cutting, and then after that, the store will be open they're gonna open twice a month. And the One Valley Free Store is gonna be located on the Presbyterian Church on 9th and Ann. So, some exciting thing coming to help people in the area. Started up by the Munhall Cares Group, and, you know, they're eventually gonna probably branch out on their own, because Munhall Cares will be too much. I mean, people from Munhall Cares are involved in there too, though. But it's going to be a, really great asset for us here, for people that need help again, people that need help. And like I said, it'll be open twice a month on Saturdays, every other Saturday.
When they say a free store, what do they have?
They're not taking any furniture
Okay.
but they will take small appliances, they will take new or gently used clothing. I've been making a lot of donations myself, from just cleaning out you're cleaning out, your cupboards are getting a little too, full, and like me, I have a habit, a lot of stuff in my closet shrink.
Right.
Just kidding, they don't shrink. They don't shrink. A lot of things in my closet, shrink, and I can't wear them anymore. So, things like that, we send out, really taking, happy to hear that. And welcome back, Deborah, the Valley Mayor is. The Valley Mayor, she told me last week she's gonna start attending our meetings again. The
Awesome.
Valley Mayor is here. So
Super.
she asked me the other day what time our meeting was, and welcome back.
Thank you.
Glad
Believe
you're
me, I
attending our
wanted to be
meeting.
here all the time, but I wasn't allowed to go.
I know.
Okay.
The Valley Mayor still, I guess Maryland was taking.
Yeah,
Back
it's a
over for now.
transition. She's trying to sell it, but we're
Yeah.
hoping to keep it running for a while.
You're coming down to the free store on Saturday?
I think Charday.
Oh, someone else, please.
I'll double check. I think Charday's coming.
I'll make sure I keep you informed of things like that
Oh, thanks.
that are going on in the borough.
Is that all, Mayor?
That's all. Any big questions for me, or?
Mayor, what size are you?
Excel. Hopefully not to soon be a double Excel. Hopefully.
Okay, I have
Oh,
one
wait,
thing.
I'm sorry. One
Go
more
ahead.
second, the chief reminded me. And I talked to Seth for a meeting too. Can we add the hiring of crossing guards? We need one full-time and one part-time. They both have met all the clearances. They're ready to go. We just need the approval. And we still need more crossing guards, substitute
We have two
crossing
names tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
So just a question, we're adding them to the agenda, so they're not on the actual agenda, so we need to amend the agenda, is that correct?
Yep, I've got the 2 motions.
Okay,
on that.
so we'll change the agenda, and we'll make that, we'll make the agenda changed. So, just before we go further, about the committees for council. We did take pictures of all the councilmen, correct?
I still need headshots
Do we-
of the 2 new council members, but I
Okay.
have a group shot.
You do have a group shot for everyone?
Yep.
All right, good, because I didn't know if we had gotten the group shot, because I know my wife took pictures, everyone took
She
pictures.
took your phone and sent it to me.
Oh, good. I should have known better.
It's on the website too.
Yeah, I put it up there.
All right, yeah, of course. It's foolish me. All right, great. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you, President Brennan. Just to talk about the agenda, so there was a new case decision came out of the Commonwealth Court in November. It has severely limited the bases for amending the agenda within the 24-hour period. Has to be now simply due to emergencies or de minimis motions that involve spending of no money. And one other narrow category, before this court decision, it was used liberally to make a motion to amend the agenda, add the motion, and then publish it within 24 hours, and that's how all municipalities were handling it. But the court has ruled that's not a proper basis, it has to fit one of these narrow categories. I talked to Seth about it, because crossing guards are a public safety issue, you need to protect the children. I think it qualifies to do so. But we need to keep that in mind, so we need to get everything on the agenda, unless it's a true emergency or a de minimis matter where there's no money involved.
What's the time before that has to be on the agenda?
24 hours. Yeah. So I just want to comment on that. A couple things on the agenda. I did draft temporary construction, repair, access easement agreements for the properties on Levine Street, which is motion 8, is to approve the emergency repairs on the creek walls, which is work that was done by the borough back in the 90s. It's fallen apart. And I drafted them to protect the borough so that the property owners understand that we're going to go in and do this work at our expense. But when we exit, they accept the work we've done as is, and they own the walls in the future, and they're responsible for any and all maintenance in the future. So it will be done with any further obligation. So and my understanding is they've signed them, or we wouldn't have this on here.
Yeah.
So that's done. As you mentioned, I did review the proposed agreement with Seth to continue as the borough manager, the terms of which were negotiated between Seth and council. I made some changes legally and just some wording, and Seth incorporated that into the agreement, which I approved. And lastly, we have one to approve the new contract for the police. And you'll recall, the terms were already approved by a document known as a memorandum of understanding, which was approved by council. All the terms and the new contract terms are already in place. This is simply a formality to allow us to execute the new agreement. I worked with the police attorney to make sure that the new contract does indeed incorporate the updates and changes and so forth, and I'm satisfied with that, so that's ready for action. And that's all I have.
Awesome, thank you. Thank you.
Before we move on, Rick, do you want me to give the grant updates?
Absolutely. Yeah, because you don't really have a spot here. Absolutely, I want you to do that.
So, first breaking news, email came to me at 5:36 PM. GDTF grants from the state were awarded. We received $75,000 towards the Main Street reconstruction. So we're still quite short from the $1 million that we want, but we do have another $75,000 that was awarded,
What's the total then?
175.
Nice.
We've got so we're just over.
And we need how much? You said $1 million?
Yeah. But Senator Brewster put out the, he's part of the decision-making on that grant. So that is that piece of breaking news. The other piece, as President Brennan stated, and Representative Burgley has posted out on Facebook, we did receive a grant from Department of Environmental Protection that was actually based off of the funds from the Volkswagen settlement, where they had defrauded folks with their diesel emissions. We were one of 3 municipalities and one of only 5 public entities to receive grants for this. We had applied, it's a 90-10 match, so in this case, we need to provide $186,000, and they will match us with 1.6, almost $1.7 million.
That's awesome.
And to put that in scope, a brand-new diesel truck costs just under $400,000. So we're gonna get 3 electric trucks and all the infrastructure. It will be a couple of years, but that is how long it takes to build a truck, whether it's diesel or electric. So for the municipality, it's a huge financial savings in that we are saving essentially over $1 million to replace 3 aging trucks. And then we will have the electrical infrastructure, because if things move the way that they have been, more and more vehicles, and the government is pushing that we will be that way, so we'll at least have those charging stations available for our municipal use.
So just on another note, I was speaking with someone today and they said that West Mifflin has charging stations up in their borough parking lot.
Yes.
So that may be a possibility we could do in the future is set up a charging station in the old borough parking lot right there possibly, or somewhere different that we may want to do that.
Yep.
Just
What
thoughts,
West
just
West
thoughts.
Mifflin has done, because they now have a couple of municipal vehicles. They have the F-150 Lightning, which is not a police-rated vehicle, but they use it to travel around, code enforcement, a couple other people. So they have the lot and they have them available for them to use, and then off hours, the public can use them for a fee.
Right, that's what I was told.
Also,
So just,
how long does it take to charge one of the vehicles for?
It depends on the size charger, so we are getting large enough batteries to last 100 miles plus per truck. Each truck travels no more than 50 miles a day, so we've got enough charge even with the hills and the cold. And then the size charger that we're getting will do it in about 8 hours. So that gives us plenty of time, overnight and otherwise.
that's the fast charger, 8 hours.
That's the DC fast charger at I think we're doing 35 kilowatt hours.
Thank you.
And those are the major updates.
So my first question I had to Seth was, are these trucks gonna handle the hills of western Pennsylvania, Munhall, you know? And you certainly think that they will.
I've been looking at these for a couple of years, and they actually started testing them up in the northern central through, and granted, Wisconsin and parts of Michigan aren't necessarily the hilliest, but they certainly get a good amount of cold, which will drain a battery fast. And that's where they did their initial proving before they went mass market on them. So there was confidence from the manufacturer that these will be no problem with the extra large batteries.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, approve meeting minutes, December 19th, 2023. I need a motion. Motion by Mr. Rondo. Need a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Yunkins. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. We have no presenters tonight. No one's on the docket. Any public comments on items for consideration? Yes?
Motion number 8. The 42 fine, is that total or per property?
Let me get to number 8. Motion number 8 to approve a bid by Creative Enterprises to perform emergency repairs on the creek walls at lot block location. So it's 2 lots, correct? And it's in the amount of $42,500. That's for both repairs?
That is the amount that, yes.
So does that answer your question?
Both.
Yep. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Under number 8, items for consideration to pay the bills. Recreation, what, it's cold out. What is recreation for December that would come to that amount?
I'm sure it's part of the park renovations, is that what it is?
Yeah, they are the final payments to the vendors.
So we've gone through a renovation of 2 of our parks. I wish I could see you there. Oh, hi. That's what it is, I'm sure. I'm sure there's It's not a detailed breakdown, but I'm sure that's what it is.
Yes, it is.
So it's a final payment for the work that's been done, and it shouldn't be anything anywhere near that next month?
Absolutely not. And it's for the work at Troutman and for the work up at, in Munhall Gardens. Okay. Vine Street Playground.
Thanks for asking.
Okay? Yes, ma'am.
I was wondering, are we sticking with one police officer, or are we gonna do more than one?
We're not, we're taking a list, we're starting a list.
No, the other process.
What's that?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, we're gathering a list. That's what we're doing right now. So we're not hiring 1, 2, 3.
It says a police officer.
Motion
So that
to request
implies one.
an officer candidate list for the Civil Service Commission. Is that what you're asking about?
It's a single list.
Okay, I was just questioning if we're gonna hire more than one.
We'll see.
Are we getting the grant,
Which grant?
a grant to get the,
We didn't get any grants to hire any
don't we
police
have to have a
officers.
list to apply for a grant?
I'd have to ask Seth on that.
No.
You're supposed to have an updated list all the time.
Yeah, we have
I
nothing.
get that, but I was informed that in order to get a grant, you have to actively be getting a list.
Not sure, but we don't have a list yet, and that's the first step.
Okay,
All right?
The grant comes out every spring. We applied the past 2 years. We did not get it
okay,
either year from the DOJ.
but you, okay.
Any other questions? Okay, let's move on. Well, we're gonna add them, all the motions here. I think it's just the one that we can really add.
Right.
First is a motion to amend the
So
agenda.
1A.
And then the others, we're not gonna do,
Those aren't
right?
motions now. Those are just.
These are just what we're gonna be doing.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so we need to amend the borough agenda, and we need to add,
First, we need a motion to amend the agenda.
right, so we need a motion to amend the agenda. Say that 3 times.
I make a motion to amend the.
Motion by Mr. Andre. Second by,
You're Pepe, you pick. Pepe was first.
second by Mr. Votadino. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. It's a unanimous vote. So now we need to add hiring of crossing guards. So we need to have 2 crossing guards upon the recommendation of our police chief. So do we want to add names of people, or do you have people in place already? So.
Is that one part-time and one full-time?
Correct, yes. No.
Well,
One part-time and one casual.
Okay, well, you should word it that way.
All right, so first we amend the agenda to hire 2, and then we go to
Motion,
motion to
To hire-
hire 2 crossing guards upon the request of the chief, and then we name the people. We can do it all at once, like.
Yes.
All right, very good. So, we'll name Lorna Leiden Schutte from Center Avenue in Munhall. And we will also hire Mary Denise Early from Longfellow Drive in Munhall. Both Mary Denise has all her clearances. I believe Laura needs her clearances, Act 33 and Act 34. So I'm sure that she will get them. And she's previously worked at the high rise. They're local people. So I think they're a go. So I need a motion.
motion.
I have a question on the motion.
Yes, sir.
Should we have the amount that they're being paid on the motion?
$50 now.
Yeah, we can put it in, but I mean, it's already fixed what the crossing guards get.
Okay.
But it's,
They make $15.
yeah, I think it's a good idea.
So they will be paid at the rate that all the crossing guards are being paid.
Correct.
Okay? So we need a motion by Mr. Rondo. Any other questions? We need a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Shields. All in favor? Aye, it's unanimous. Very good. Okay, all right, let's go through the rest of the, agenda motions here, once I find it. Here we go. Okay, number one, motion to pay bills for the period December 1, 2023 through December 31st, 2023, as summarized and totaled to be a total of $601,750.50. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Yunkins,
Second.
second by Mr. Eads. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Number two, motion to approve payroll for the period ending December 2nd, 23, and through December 16th, 2023, with a total of $301,330.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Yunkins, second by
Second.
Mr. Shields. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous. Motion to approve the subdivision plan for St. Rita's Church, lot and block 180-F-262-02 as recommended by the Planning Commission.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Rondo,
Second.
second by Mr. Bodadian. Ms. Fry, you have to get in a little quicker. They're on time. All in favor? Aye. Unanimous. Motion to approve the collective bargaining agreement with the Munhall Police Union for the terms of 2024 through 2027.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Yunkins,
Second.
second by Mr. Eads. All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Motion to approve the employment contract with Seth Abrams, Borough Manager for term of 2024 through 2026. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Yunkins. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Rondo. All in favor?
Mr. President, I have a question on that.
Yes, sir.
So I was going through some of the paperwork that we were given for the contracts. And it must have just, I'm not sure if it slipped my mind or slipped us as we were sitting here on what we were given on section C of his current contract. Number 6 just says there's no changes. So I go into his current contract, and number 6 was life insurance with the borough. So then I look at the new contract, and number 6 in that, in section C, is personal days, 4 personal days. So there is a change to that.
It should just be a change in order because I believe
It's
personal days
not-
were in there.
I didn't see it in the old contract.
If it was, I'm happy to remove it, but the personal
it's in
days are the same
the-
as Public Works, but
It's in the new contract, but it's not in the old contract. I think that we have to, that's a change that was made. That wasn't put on our paperwork.
Okay.
The 4 personal days, are they pretty much regular with the other?
Yep, and
Please.
he is correct, if they were missing, from the original contract for some reason, but yeah, that is every employee, gets the personal days. So that was in line, but
Good job, Tim.
I have no problem since it was my miss on there, whatever council wishes to do.
Can we have a roll call vote on this, please?
Sure. So, I mean, do we need to sit back and renegotiate this?
No.
So what are we voting on?
I mean, it was, we were given a paper with the current contract, and that section has no changes.
That one part didn't have a change in the 4 personal days. The 4 personal days are
The
standard.
new contract has a change.
So everybody else in the borough does get 4
Right.
personal days? And
We just-
you're saying it wasn't in his contract, but he's always under the PW contract?
It wasn't in the
Original.
I mean,
the old contract.
we're giving everything that Public Works has. Well, I'm sure our Public Works employees would love to make, you know, $80,000 apiece also. So, I mean, that's something that we need to,
Some may make more, I don't know.
that's something that we need to look at. I mean,
So, I mean, so my question becomes, do we need to reevaluate this? Is it a motion that needs to be renegotiated, or do we want to vote to give him the 4 days?
I think we
We
need
want to vote
to,
not to give him
I think we need to look at the contract, I mean, and go through everything, make sure we didn't miss anything else.
Oh, we just did. We just did look at what you came through. Everything else has been looked over by our solicitor.
I mean, I looked over some things, but, you know, if I wouldn't have caught it, you know, something.
Greg, we able to make a motion to amend the contract tonight, or would you have to wait 24 hours, as we spoke
Well,
before?
so I'm just trying to follow along. What I looked at has personal days and
The original,
you mean,
from last year.
last year didn't have personal days.
So when I.
Basically, the
when I
problem
made
is,
reference-
the original
Okay.
draft didn't switch over, but it doesn't change anything on the new contract.
Correct.
Change-
If
change
the
it.
council read the new contract.
Right, we already
it did
read the
not
new
change-
contract.
We're not changing anything that was,
There was a mistake made between the old one and not being a change, but it doesn't change the contract at all.
All right, so the written agreement that council has, it does not state personal days? Is that right,
it
Seth?
does.
It does.
Oh, it does.
The one that just
The
expired
old
did not.
contract did not
Not.
state
Okay.
that there was personal.
He just
days.
wasn't marked as a change.
I understand.
It's
Well, there's
not
a mo-
even in the contract. So,
What's
I
that?
mean, it's not even in the old contract, so if you paid them for personal days for last year,
That's another issue, though. It's not the same issue.
but
we're
it-
doing
it's
tonight.
still an issue that
It
needs
is an
to be-
issue, yes.
that needs to be brought up.
Right.
Well, if there's a motion on the floor to approve the agreement, which includes personal days, I understand Mr. Reed's, the issue he's raising, and there's a second to that. You can vote on that,
Right.
or not.
Vote your will.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, then. Just, we'll do a roll call vote.
Mr. Eads,
No,
Mrs. Fry,
Just so I'm correct, everybody else who is employed by the borough gets the 4 days. He's under the PW contract, so he should get the 4 days. Is
Right.
that correct? I say let him have the 4 days.
That's not the vote.
You vote yes.
Vote
Yes, yes.
Mr. Hondo,
Yes.
Mr. Shields,
Yes.
Mr. Bodedian,
I can't really vote on that motion or on the contract, because I didn't read it.
And you missed that
I missed that,
negotiation.
Yeah, so if I can be excused from voting on that.
You certainly can.
You have to abstain because you don't have the information, is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yeah.
And that'll be noted for the
I'm
minutes.
sure everything is okay,
Yeah.
I just didn't see it, that's all.
I just want to make sure the minutes are correct. That's
That's right.
Mr. Youngkins,
yes.
President Brennan.
Yes.
5-1 with 1 abstention.
And just so the public knows, this contract is a 2-year contract for our borough manager. And that's the longest a contract can be written for. We do have faith in our borough manager, and we're looking forward to working together in 2024 and 2025. So the motion passes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Motion number 6, motion to approve the bidder for an environmental evaluation of 1900 West Street as recommended by the borough engineer.
Motion.
Do we have a,
Is this a contract?
No. It is, so if I may, George, do you want to second or?
deposit.
In council's packet with the items for consideration, this afternoon, just before 6, I did get the recommendation from the engineer for, it was RFPs for an environmental evaluation. SC Tech came in at 5,900, Scully and Lloyd came in at 7,500, Moody and Associates came in at 9,100. KLH is recommending Skelly and Lloyd due to a belief that they will provide a better final product, taking more samples and providing a comprehensive final report. Council does have that email in their packets.
What was his price?
7,500, so it was actually the middle of the 3 bids, all are below the any bid thresholds though.
Okay. Council, everyone understand that?
But that's awarding the work to them at that price. So I'd like the motion to reflect that.
Yep.
The name of the company and the price.
Right. Did not have that.
Okay, understood.
So we're asking to have the, did you want to-
Comment on that.
Sure, certainly.
Last week, when the engineer was here, he said that he really did not see any difference between the two people, or the two companies, to do this. So is it wise for us to go with the more expensive, or the middle of the road guy versus the bottom?
What was his exact terms that he says?
In the email the council has, comparing the RF, and I'm gonna actually read everything in the email. Seth, comparing the RFPs for asbestos, lead, and hazardous materials, it appears that they all understood the scope of the work being requested. However, in my opinion, the proposal from Skelly and Lloyd seemed to really spell out different environmental concerns, and they have more sampling estimated than SE Technologies. Moody, who is the highest, had the most sampling, but I feel their final reporting wasn't going to be as substantial as the other two. I recommend going with Skelly and Lloyd. I think they'll provide the better final product, taking more samples and providing a comprehensive final report. Please let me know if you have any questions or if the board has any questions or concerns.
Okay, Mr. Abrams, last week, you were here.
Yes.
He did not say that specifically, but if now he's recommending these people, and being that he is our borough engineer, I guess he would know better than us.
He did not have all 3 to make a full evaluation.
And if you do remember, I did ask him to give us a recommendation, who he felt would be the best person to do the job.
Well, he did, he gave us a recommendation now, but last
Right.
week he didn't.
He didn't, no, because he didn't have all the bids in yet.
Correct.
So when we have the, excuse me, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was gonna say, so it was Skelly and Lloyd, that was one. Moody was the highest. What was the other company?
SE Tech,
C Tech. And what was their bid?
5,900,
Okay.
and Skelly and Lloyd was 7,500, and Moody and Associates was 9,100. So it's a scale from, you know,
Who was ever awarded the bid should be named and what the bid is.
we will.
Okay, it wasn't in
We
there.
will do that, Mr. Shields.
Okay.
So the question is, who do we want to have do the job? And I'm just going to say, I think we should go with who our engineer recommends.
I agree.
I agree.
Yeah,
That's why we pay them.
that's cool.
So,
I agree.
do we want to do a roll call vote for this, or are we all in favor of
We
that?
need to revise the motion to reflect the name of the company and the price
Okay,
for the work.
so we need to change our motion number 6 to read,
Motion to approve
We
Skelly
need-
and Lloyd.
we need a motion to approve Skelly and Lloyd at a price of $7,500 to do the environmental evaluation of 1900 West Street as recommended by our borough engineer.
Okay.
Are we all in favor of that?
Mhm.
Sure. Well, we still need a motion in a second.
Right, we need a motion and a second.
Motion.
I second.
Okay, so are we all in favor of that?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Eads?
So,
Good. We're all in favor. Very good. All right, motion number 7, a motion to request a police officer candidates list from the Civil Service Commission. I need a motion. Motion by Ms. Fry.
Second.
Second by, who was that, Mr. Votadian? Thank you. All in favor? All in favor, unanimous. All right, I believe this is the last motion. Motion number 8, to approve the bid by Creative Enterprises to perform emergency repairs on the creek walls at lot and block locations of 179-J132 and 179-J-133 in the amount of $42,500.
Question on the motion.
Question?
So these are basically 2 lots that are gonna be done for that amount of money, correct?
Correct.
Are there more? Are we going to be responsible if we do these? Are we going to be responsible for more than these 2 at some point in time?
I think that would be hard to say. We would have to,
Well, no,
we'd have to look at each
No,
one.
this
on an
doesn't
individual
legally
basis.
obligate us to do any further work. And-
Anywhere?
Correct.
What happens if it's somebody else's wall that the borough did?
The problem is,
You have to take it on a case by case.
we can help out there.
basis, but You're
Back in
right.
back in the day, Public Works went basically a lot along Ravine Street and repaired walls on the creek bed. And once they repaired the walls, the borough owned them. So that's what, I think what Mr. Ron is talking
Yes.
about. There is more walls out there.
I understand.
happen.
I've never seen any documentation to support anyone's claim that the borough owns those walls. I
That was,
understand.
that was actually a legal thing that we were told by the solicitor, but once we went into the property and rebuilt the walls, we owned them. That was an issue back
We're
then.
not gonna own these walls, because.
No, we're gonna sign off on
I
them.
wrote it correctly.
Right, that's the way to do it, right, I agree 1,000%.
That could get into potential litigation, Mr. Shields, and that's something that, if another claim comes in, we want to discuss that
Well,
privately.
when these claims come in on these walls, how did we know we weren't responsible for them?
How did we know we weren't?
We weren't.
Well, I thought,
We are responsible,
okay,
right.
I was told that council supported going in and doing some repair work because this borough public works department had already built these walls. So that council wanted to take responsibility to go in and repair the situation, which is causing damage to the creek.
That's more or less what I was just saying.
Yeah.
There's other walls out there that Public Works did.
And that would have to be done on a basis by basis.
Right.
Yeah.
But answering his question, there is possibly more of those situations out there.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I got a question. Since we're dealing with the Corps engineers and everything down there, and what I understand, we're doing a 10-year fix instead of a permanent fix, because the engineers might be coming through and fixing walls down there. But what happens if the engineers tell us we're not doing nothing, and we just fix this wall, and it's only a 10-year fix, and that person's gonna be stuck in 10 years to fix their wall again?
Well, the 10-year fix was not a specific theory.
I understand.
It was, are we looking at something knowing that the Army Corps is coming through and going to be looking and reviewing and coming up with scope? Or are we looking at something where we know it's going to need to quote unquote last forever?
Right.
We're not looking at a short-term fix or a patch that would have been bracing the wall and trying to push it back up.
Right.
So we're looking at a reasonable cost for a reasonable
Repair.
fix.
And the reason that I brought it up was because if your wall is fixed and Rick's wall is fixed, and I'm the next guy down the road, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come here and say, well, you just fixed these 2, what about mine? And this guy's gonna say,
Well, they're not falling down, the neighbors, right now.
He's using a hypothetical question, maybe someone
I know.
Yeah.
6 months from now may come up and say the same.
I understand your logic. Hey,
That'll be a,
Yeah,
Take
but
more
it's gonna
time.
be then another analysis by council.
Right.
I mean, typically, we don't go onto private property and do anything,
But
but we
it's
did back in the 90s.
It's blatant that it's a Munhall fix, because it's the same fix I got in my yard when they
Yeah.
fixed my wall, when they dropped the hill in my backyard. It's the same walls, the way Mickey fixed them.
Why wasn't these questions brought up before we got to this far?
They were.
Solicitor?
I brought them up. I brought them
So
up.
we're just rehashing, the same questions over and over again?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
Well, I don't think it's so much that, is, we're just gonna be, every issue will be taken on one at a time.
Exactly.
That's it.
That's all you can do.
I mean,
You and I weren't here last month or 6 months ago, but we are now, so.
yeah, I agree.
Right.
And I hate to say it, I was one of the guys that worked and fixed those walls in the creek down there.
There you go. So you know all about it.
I know about it. We had walls all over Munhall for me, but that's what we did.
So, any other questions? So I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Youngkins,
A second.
second by Mr. Eads. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, the vote is unanimous. Okay. So, we're moving on. Public comments on non-agenda items. Does anyone from the public have anything they'd like to bring to council's attention? Yes, ma'am.
I was just curious on how the agenda and the timeline that is created. What's the process?
I set the agenda with the borough manager. We work together, and that's how it's set.
Okay, so what's the timeline?
What do you mean?
We take
Well,
them out.
this, all of this, some of it, but a few of these weren't on the workshop agenda.
Well, we've spoken about all of these through the past. The subdivision from St. Rita's Church was done months and months ago. The collective bargaining agreement was done months and months ago. The employment for contract with Seth Abrams, we've been working on and talked to him about. The motion for the bidder for the evaluation, we have talked about, and we spoke about it last meeting. Motion for request of a police officer candidate, we have spoken about periodically through the last month or two, several months.
Sir, that was
Motion.
the result of a direct request at last week's meeting.
Right, so I'm just answering her. Motion to approve a bid by Creative Enterprises, we have discussed this, and here we are. So they all have
So
been
when was
discussed.
this put to the public?
This was put into the public last week,
All of this?
yeah, Friday. Should have been on the agenda, it should have been out Friday.
I posted it on the community page over the weekend. I try to post it on there, now that I have access to it sooner. We'll continue to post it as soon as I get it.
Wasn't the borough posted on their website?
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of people want to go to the borough website, so it doesn't take, it takes me 2 minutes.
That's all.
I post it on the community page.
Right.
Everybody can see it, the mayor can share it onto his page. It's not really, that hard for me to do it. A couple little screenshots I posted. I'll continue to do it. When I get it, I should have did it Friday, but I got forced
So
at work Friday night.
we,
so I wasn't
as
able to.
as president of council this year, have spoken with our borough manager, and we want the agenda put out Thursday or Friday of the prior week of today. So we're not gonna be putting out agendas the day before, or the day of, or Monday. So just so you know, that is our agenda on how we're gonna put this out.
Question.
Yes, sir.
But something, as we spoke before, still can be added 24 hours before the meeting.
Yeah, you can
Right.
post a revised agenda.
Revised agenda.
24 hours in advance.
24 hours before.
Yes.
You can certainly come to talk to council at any time. That's why the agenda's set up this way. I
I
set the
get that.
agenda.
I'm sorry I haven't been here to
I'm-
listen to all this. But I did look at the workshop agenda last week, and it wasn't, none of this, not all of this was on here.
We've spoken
And
about all this.
I'm sure, okay, but I'm just pointing out that it wasn't on the agenda for the workshop meeting. And that is perfectly legit to ask
I'm not
about.
saying it wasn't.
Your tone says otherwise.
I'm just trying to explain what's going on, and the way the agenda is set up. There's questions, time for people to speak in the beginning of the meeting, and there's time for people to speak, public comments on non-agenda items. I give you the time to ask questions.
Yeah, and I am.
Not a problem, that's okay, you're good. Not a problem. Anyone else? I just went through the list, that's all. We went over every one of these in the last several months, every one.
I'm sorry, I haven't been here.
Okay. No problem.
Rick, can I ask a couple things?
Sure.
One, we mentioned last week about the clock on Main Street is not working. Did we get any status report, or what are we doing, or?
No, ma'am, that is
We
not.
talked about
exactly
replacing
that.
it. The public
You
works
think-
I remember
recommended-
saying that's a main
What?
priority, because we all are used to that clock.
It's right twice a day, I like that answer, Bryce.
Okay, I'm sure everybody got one of these this past week, and I just want to ask, does the borough print these or just legal tax?
We do.
Okay, and who prints them for us?
As I answered in your email, ma'am, we do, this year.
So we printed them right here.
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. And how many households get these?
Every household that receives a tax bill gets it with their bill. It's also available, our drivers carry them, and it's available on the website and on Facebook.
So if I said how many households get them, how many households do we have?
There are, legal tax instructed me that they needed 4,600 copies.
Thank you. And last but not least, how much do you estimate that it costs to produce this?
It was just under $1,000.
Wonderful. Thank you, sir.
So I just want to, I have a question as well about a few things as well. Main Street, are the cameras working on Main Street, Chief? Because I get that question asked to me so many different times.
They
I
do
tell them
work.
that they are working,
Yes.
and so just so the public knows that the cameras on Main Street are working. Where else do we have cameras at that are in service right now?
Woodhill Park, and that's it.
The waterfront, they're not working down there any longer?
Yeah, Waterfront has cameras, but we don't control those.
Okay,
That's the DA?
Yes.
all right, very good. Okay. Any other additional comments?
Just maybe an update on the lights on Main Street. You know, this week's, the weather probably will not permit for that to be done because of the extreme cold. But they're on it. You know, it's gonna get done.
Yeah, I mean, is it a matter of light bulbs, or is it a matter of wiring?
I gotta dig.
Pardon me?
We gotta bring a contractor in and dig.
Okay. All right,
Should only be a day or two job though.
okay,
Not that deep.
right.
Do we know where it's at, Bob?
We're pretty short,
Good,
within, a couple feet here or there.
great, great. Okay, anyone else have anything they'd like to bring up?
I've got two items from, that have come up over the past, actually, I guess they came up last week. One came up at the meeting. I want to give updates. Council had voiced a preference to potentially have all of our meetings taped. I
Right.
spoke with Mr. Cassiork. He gave me recommendations for us to get our own camera. He will be providing the uploads and the editing for us. That should actually be in place next week, even though we don't have any meetings next week. So thank you, David, for
Very good.
getting the tech assist
Thanks, David.
and the
So February
continued
budget
work.
meetings will be done.
And I got a presentation on a mass notification system today. I'm looking and working with another vendor to get a presentation tomorrow, and hope to have some pricing and recommendations for council shortly after that.
Who are you looking to use?
Looking to use Catalyst as one option, who is the provider of our 311 and our website system, so it integrates, and also looking at Savvy Citizen.
Did you look at Nixle or any of them?
No, I wasn't even aware it's currently still using Nixle.
Yeah.
This was brought to our attention, and we've talked many times with our emergency management coordinator. So we've talked with him about this. This year, we're finally getting into the financial ability to start doing stuff like this. So I think it would be a tool that would be used for our citizens. I think it would be great. Do you want to go over anything else you have here, Seth?
Nope, everything else on there are signatures that you need to do, sir.
Right, very good. Okay,
I got one thing.
all right.
Mr. President. It brought to my attention, Main Street and Butzer, at the bus stop coming towards Canterbury Street. There is no curb cutout, so if somebody gets off the bus in the wheelchair up there, there is no curb cut out up there, so they wouldn't be able to cross the street, safely at that point of Main Street. Can somebody look into, see what we have to do about, see the curb cut at Botsford? There's no curb cut out. And there's a spot, there's a fire hydrant, there's a no parking already, so it wouldn't be like we're taking up a parking spot up there, but there's no curb cut, which would be.
This is the lower portion?
Yeah, it'll be the outbound side.
It's not the side where the bar is, it's the other
It's
side.
the other side.
Right.
And there's a fire hydrant right in front, and there's a bus stop right there, so if somebody with ADA gets off there, they're gonna have to go back down the hill and wheel back up, or, what are we gonna do with them? So we need to take a look at that if we can.
Okay.
I'm not sure, Bryce, do you take care of that, or?
We're gonna do it.
Thank you.
So I noticed, I brought this attention to Dave, to Seth, but while you're here, I'll just throw it out there to you, just as another thing. Up by the building up by Park School across the way, the gas company must have been up there, and there are metal grates that are missing from up there. I don't know if they were removed, the planter, the tree's gone, so I don't know if we need to do something in that area as well while we're talking about Main Street as far as sidewalks
Well,
or
they're going
steps.
down that street, putting more gas lines in. So,
Take a look at it when you're looking through, because obviously there was a tree and a planter there, but there's no tree there no more, and there's no more metal grate there. So I'm just curious of what happened to all that stuff and what
Oh,
we
you mean
intend to
the
do.
ones in front of the yoga place?
No, where's the yoga place?
Used to be the old A.
Yeah, it's further down from the yoga, right in the corner. It's further down. It's in them same, it's right near, no, it's up from Colasan's. It's up in that area right there. You'll see, you
My
can't
Dr.
miss it.
Spellman.
Yeah, even up a little
Or
further.
past Dr. Spillman's, right.
Yep. You'll find it.
Is there two spots there that they removed the grade and they just paved over where the trees were?
It
There's
was
three of them
dirt.
there.
Oh, okay.
It was still dirt.
Were they paved over?
They were paved over.
Right.
Okay. Which tree? The Christmas tree? Is it still there?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think maybe next week they can get it.
I
Well,
can, are we,
I mean, I can give you a
You'll let
call.
the
we
Scouts
probably
do
call the
the
Girl
lights off.
Scouts and tell them that,
Yeah.
get the ornaments off.
I think
I don't
next,
know, I know it's up there, but I don't know, is the ornaments still on too?
I think next week is gonna be much warmer. We can get it done next week.
Maybe not.
Hopefully they got their ornaments off and stuff, I wanna find out.
They're still on.
They on there?
Was there?
I know that's up, but
Yeah, I
I don't know if
think
it's
that
posted.
Everything's
I'll tell them to get the ornaments off, we're gonna pick it up, or get rid of it next
I
week.
think they put it up, I think they're gonna keep it, so then next year they can re-put it.
I don't think so, I think it'll die.
It's a long
Oh, it's a
tree.
live
It's a live
tree.
tree, yeah. I don't think they can keep it.
Okay.
But I'll get in touch with someone, get the ornaments off and tell them, then the borough will come get it next week, Bryce? Okay, I'll let them know that we're planning on getting it next week.
Anything else from anyone? Okay, I need a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you all for coming.